We are born of the blood, made men by the blood, undone by the blood.
What's up, everybody? Kinetic here, and welcome back to the 200% speed Bloodborne navigation walkthrough. We're going to continue after the Father Gascoinge fight. We've got the key from him that opens up this gate now. And we're going to make our way to the Odin Chapel. And from there, we will find a lamp and an NPC to have a chat with. First, we're going to take a look at a couple of points of interest. For one, there's a little interesting note here. And also in this chest, we will find the Blood Gem Workshop tool. This will allow you to apply Blood Gems, which you will be finding quite a lot of from here on. Back in the Hunter's Dream, you can now apply those Blood Gems to your weapons. Heading up the stairs, a little bit of a cutscene for atmosphere. And now we're going to have a chat with a really creepy looking NPC that is going to basically tell us that this place is a sanctuary. And sanctuary is exactly what we've been looking for a certain NPC. If you remember back in Central Yharnam, there was an NPC that was basically harassing us every time we would knock on our door, saying, "Hey, find me a sanctuary," or something along those lines. So we're going to go back to Central Yharnam, cross the Great Bridge, and back down this way. You guys should remember this, right? We've got the dogs over here. They sound so cute when they're barking at 200% speed. And we might as well kill them because it's free echoes, right? Right, so across this little mini bridge, and over here is where she is. Now that we've found our way to the Cathedral Ward, or Odin Chapel lamp, now we can tell her there's a new option to go there for her safe haven. So now we're going to go back to the Cathedral Ward and talk to this NPC again, and she's like, "Oh, that's great. How about I give you a nice emote?" And we can actually find that wretched old woman here. And she's still not being polite to us. So anyway, go this way and you'll notice that there are a couple of guys walking around with lamps. They're very tall, and they don't flinch much, so when you start to engage them, be careful, because that cane, it hurts. It hurts a lot. There's a couple of items of interest here, one of which we need to be extremely careful in picking up. This is not the one. This is simply blood vials. Over here, there is actually an attire set, but we have to be careful because that right there, that is like a black hole, or otherwise better known as frenzy here in Bloodborne, which will take over your body in this really strange way. It's just bad, you'll die. But we got a top hat, we got foreign garbs, which have a nice slow poison resistance. Up these stairs here, beware, there is a very big giant guy with an even scarier axe. Take your time with him. Try to surprise him if you can, and watch out for that axe. Alright, so now that he's done, we can go up the stairs. We're not actually going anywhere, but just take a look at it. This is the gate that says you need a special emblem to open. Now that might sound familiar if you've been really memorizing some of the items back in the Hunter's Dream from the Merchant. They sell for 10,000 blood echoes and a handkerchief of sorts, or a cloth, whatever, that has a special emblem. We've got a couple of trolls and a few crows in this area. I recommend taking on one troll at a time. This is why I usually take my sweet time walking up to them and trying to take advantage of my my Hunter's Axe R2 in two-hand form. It usually is really easy to dispatch them that way. Over here is an interesting item, the monocular. It's basically a single eye vision scope, which gives you a little bit of a zoom. If anybody knows of any other use other than maybe looking at cleavage closer with that, let me know, because I don't even know. And that's pretty much that for over here. Now we're going to keep heading down this path. There's a crow on the right that's sort of guarding an item. There's that Swifty R2 attack I was talking about. We picked up 2 blood gems. And we got another one of these giants, and this time he's got a giant, like, wrecking ball for a weapon. Again, take your time. Try to sneak up on him if you can. And from killing him, I got a bloodstone shard. Over here, 5 more bloodstone shards. This area is gonna load you up really good with bloodstone shards. I mean, you don't even have to kill that giant guy. Just run, grab the gems, and go if that's all you want to do from there. So that way you can upgrade your items. Down here, you might want to use a torch. That way we can see a little bit better. There's actually nothing in here, but it's still creepy no matter what. At the end of this little hall, treasure chest with a tempering bloodstone gem. And a locked door that we cannot get past. And the frenzy over there continues. Seems it doesn't stop until it's actually captured you once. There's our other patrol guy. Back on patrol. Stagger, visceral attack, dead. And this is our way of progression. This path. We've got a few enemies around here. They're not tough. They're just like the enemies that we've been typically seeing, for example, around Central Yharnam. Still, we shouldn't be reckless. Two of my most hated freaking scourge guys, the pitchfork guy and the torch guy. They always get me. Always. Before we take any of these paths, go to the right. We'll have some cold blood dew and some more Molotov cocktails, which is nice because I've been out of them, I think, for quite some time. Now there's a central path that way, but first go this way, and at the top of the stairs there's a hunter and a couple of dogs. Rifle guy, I mean. The rifle dude's shots are really easy to dodge. And of course it gives you some quicksilver bullets. Open the door here. And this is going to give you access to an upper floor of that central path. There's a room that we're going to take a look at here soon. But at the end of this farthest path is an NPC who's very, very interesting.
You're a beast hunter, aren't you? I knew it. That's precisely how I started out. Oh, beg pardon. You may call me Alfred. Protege, so why not call?
Alfred is a really cool NPC. He's quite talkative, and he actually gives you some really good information about sort of the lore of the game. Alright, so once you've done having a chat with Alfred about the Healing Church, which I think is fantastic to listen to, make our way this way. There's an item, Madman's Knowledge, which gives us insight, and a switch. This switch opens up a secret passage. But first, we need to get rid of somebody. And an item. Another Madman's Knowledge. Ooh, secret stairs. Good stuff. In this room, there is a single item on this corpse. A blood gem, which with our new workshop tool we'll be able to apply to our weapons. Just down this way, there is a werewolf. I recommend stagger and visceral attack. Charge him as he's trying to get up. See if you can finish him off. Sometimes they'll stay there and get hit. Sometimes they'll dodge backwards. But you shouldn't have too much trouble with them. Nothing to be found here. Continuing down the stairs, there is a ladder that goes down just a short way. There's no enemies below. And then another set of stairs that is a dead end that leads to some antidote. Antidote is great for removing poison. And then we come to a room with a lamp and some blood cocktails. These blood cocktails, again, are for attracting beasts. Light the lamp, and now I'm sitting on 9k blood echoes, so I'm going to return to the Hunter's Dream and spend those for my attributes, and also, since we've got the workshop tool, go ahead and use that to apply bloodstone, or blood gems, to my weapons. I've also got, of course, a bunch of those bloodstone shards that I can now apply to my weapons to upgrade them. And I've reached the max with one of my weapons. At +3, you will now need to use twin bloodstone shards, or something along that lines. And with the rest of the souls, after upgrading my weapons, I'm going to go ahead and start adjusting my stats to my liking. In this case, I'm looking for a little bit more blood tinge and some endurance. The reason I'm going for blood tinge is because I need it to be able to use a weapon that we will be picking up not so long from now. Once you're done with your upgrades, head back to Old Yharnam and let the fun begin. Little note here saying hunters are not allowed. And then a voice from afar, warning us that if we do not turn back, the hunter will face the hunt. Ignore that guy. He's got suicidal tendencies anyway. There is one of the strange creatures that acts just like a crystal lizard. If you have played previous Souls games, you know crystal lizards are basically good for killing them quickly before they disappear, and they will give you upgrade shards, or upgrade stones, whatever you want to call them, for upgrading your weapons. In this case, it gave us 3 bloodstone shards. And we dropped down so quickly that we didn't have a chance to grab that other item, since we were trying to kill that little creature before it disappears. Once it disappears, the only way to have another chance at killing it again is to basically return back to this area, for example from the Hunter's Dream, and just like everything else that respawns when you come back to an area, so will those little creatures. If you've killed it, however, it will not return. This item here is another torch, except much more powerful. The normal torch will, of course, give you a little bit of damage and, you know, mostly used for light, I believe. The Hunter's Torch has, if I remember correctly, twice the firepower. Over here, a door that we will unlock later from the other side. Take these stairs, take this ladder, and we're going to return right back to where we originally dropped off as we were chasing that little critter. Some cold blood dew for giving us blood echoes. And I'm going to have to retrace myself again this way to pick up that item, which happens to be a bloodstone shard. Alright, so now we are back at the point where we dropped off to chase after a little critter, and we're going to continue on back in the direction for progress. There's a single item over here, some blood vials, and a patrol enemy that is coming. With either torch, be it the normal torch or the hunter's torch, these creatures here are pretty nervous about light sources. So this torch is going to, for pretty much 90% of the time, cause these enemies to do virtually nothing to you. They may charge you, which is rare. Even more rare than that would them actually trying to attack you. So these enemies, however, which are the exact same enemies, except they've got a hood over their faces. It's sort of protecting them just a little bit from the brightness that your light sources are creating, and so they're not as afraid of you as the ones without. Some bloodstone shards over there. Now we'll start going down the stairs. There's a bunch of those guys here, with and without cloaks. Here come the guys without cloaks. And here comes the other guys with cloaks. They're a little bit slower, and they're definitely not afraid to try and take a swing at you. Also keep in mind that those guys with the hoods, those robes over their bodies and their faces, will actually start to taint you with poison. If they hit you enough times and you get fully poisoned, you will start to take heavy damage. And now take note of the guy that is shooting at us from that tower. We can hide behind these statues for cover, and we're going to take this little drop right here. There's nothing down here except for an item to pick up. Some more bloodstone shards. Through this way, another one of those robed guys. Now you can really see right there, look at the icon of the poison that is building up. He almost managed to fully poison me, and then I would have started to take poison damage. And now I'm just basically showing you another option of going down below. There's a set of stairs from where we just came from. Take note of these jars as well. These jars are actually packed full of some kind of highly combustible fluid that when they're shot by, for example, that guy's Gatling gun up there on the tower, will explode and deal massive fire damage to you if you're nearby. Use whatever you can to draw these beasts towards you here in this room, which is going to give us a nice clear way over to a wall nearby. And right here you're perfectly safe from all that explosive damage. Some more antidote in case we get poisoned. You can pause right here as well. Won't get shot. Inside the room, a few more of these creepy guys. And come bursting out of the side, one with a hood over his face. And we picked up a couple of blood gems there that we can use later to upgrade our weapons. Back this way, there's a bunch of crows that are just waiting to attack you. Some more bloodstone shards. Some more antidote. Alright, now this is a pretty dangerous area, but the best method that I found, there's that guy that will be shooting at us, is what we want to do is we want to attract as many of the enemies over here as we can. We're hiding beside this tree. Notice that there's a tree right there to our right. And because of the tree, it's blocking that guy's bullets. But yeah, basically try and attract as many of them as you can, then come back to this room. Of course, from the safety of the building, we can take these guys out without getting shot at. If you try to fight them all over there next to that tree, then it could be very difficult, because you can't move around a lot. You might be getting shot at, and generally speaking, it's just more dangerous over there. So I recommend taking them into the building. From here, that guy with the gun can't actually shoot us. We're not in his range anymore. But if we run back this way, we will have to take cover behind this statue, because we're back in his range, and he will shoot at us. A couple of enemies here that are going to harass us. Getting shot up a little bit there. You can see while we're here, there's an item just to the side of the statue. Alright, once he's done firing at you, go back into this area where you cannot be shot at. Now, after crossing that little bridge, you're going to meet one of the newest enemies here in Bloodborne. The Hunter. These NPC enemies are extremely aggressive. And they fight with pretty damn good skill. It could almost be compared to an actual PvP match against, for example, the average Bloodborne player, should you start to get into multiplayer PvP. And this guy in particular, I was actually going to just go ahead and ignore him, but he is extremely aggressive. He keeps running back and forth, and then actually came after me all the way this way, and then finally I was like, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and face him, which is actually a really good idea. It's extremely dangerous, but it's a good idea. Because this hunter is also the same as, or very similar to, the hunter that's shooting us with that gun up there on the tower. So if we can get used to fighting and killing, for example, this guy here, then it gives us a much better chance. Consider it practice, right? Look at it like practice against the guy with the gun up there on the tower. In this particular case, I struggled with him a little bit more than I was expecting to, considering the first time I killed him, I seemed to stagger and visceral attack him a lot faster. But that is our strategy against hunters. Just like the werewolves, I'm making it a lot faster by going ahead and trying to stagger and visceral attack these types of enemies. Otherwise, it turns into a much longer fight than it really needs to be. He's going to shoot at you a lot, so try and pace back and forth, side to side, to avoid his pistol shots. And as he tries to hit you with his melee attacks, that's when you want to pull out your gun and hit him with the stagger, and then visceral attack. As he's getting up, it's a great time to do a charge attack and deal tons of damage. From his corpse we got a very interesting item, bone marrow powder or something like that, which enhances the power of our gunshots. So from here, taking that ladder, you have two options. There's a drop down right there, which is going to take you to an upper area of the next room over, and then we've got a ladder here. And I was thinking of taking this ladder, which takes us to the other hunter that's been shooting at us this whole time. But instead, since I'm sitting on nearly 6k, I thought it's probably a good idea instead for me to go ahead, use a bold hunter's mark, and reawaken at the hunter's dream for more stat upgrades from the doll. And also take a look at some more upgrades that I can do to my weapons, including using bloodstone shards and blood gems. Alright, back at the Hunter's Dream. First thing I'm going to do, as usual, when I'm looking to upgrade is I'm going to fortify my weapons with some of the bloodstone shards that we've been picking up. I'm working, just like with this walkthrough, I'm also doing the same on my main walkthrough. Pretty much the same weapons currently, the Hunter's Axe and the Kirk Hammer. Here are some of the blood gemstones that I've been picking up that I can apply now to my different weapons to give me a little bit of a boost. So I've now got a Hunter Axe and a Kirk Hammer +3. With the rest of my blood echoes, I'm going to return to the doll.
Welcome home, good hunter.
And this is pretty much up to you, of course, depending on where you're going with your character, what weapons you're using, and stuff like that. Since we're about to face off against the Gatling Bro, as he's being affectionately called, the hunter at the top of the tower, I'm looking to give myself a little bit more vitality and some endurance. We've got a tough fight coming up here. I highly recommend that you do the same. Take advantage of whatever blood echoes that you have in storage. Whatever blood echoes you have, of course, just collected. Bloodstone gems, bloodstone shards, all that good stuff. And get ready for what is to be a very badass fight. That does it for this navigation walkthrough for Bloodborne. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Click the like button to support these videos here on the channel, and stay subscribed. More walkthroughs are coming up soon. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.